Greetings, fellow traders. Bowen here. It's time for the daily market wrap for Tuesday, September the 8th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research. Everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. All right, let's check and see where we left off with the market here today. So SPX, again, monthly chart down almost 100 points today, down 95 points, right? Big push down today. Again, a lot of this is from the gap on the monthly chart, but we are back below the upper Bollinger down there on the monthly chart. Weekly chart, again, you can see it was not huge. We ended up picking a little bit, 10 more points up of range today. So you can see half of the range, half of that down move today was from the gap. Right, so we didn't get a huge momentum downside move, but this open gap here below is definitely looking like a huge target. We closed below the trend box low right here. The only thing that is of concern right there as we go to the SPY is that the volume kind of tapered off here today. So we may see a quick move down to the 50-day moving average on this one, then we'll see how it handles that. But right now, this is not kind of like a YOLO short type situation right here. It was kind of very, very precise type stuff, although we do have a lot of bearish candle, a very, very bearish candle right here. But I really would like to have seen increased volume on this one to the downside to be like, hey, this thing's going to work its way down and maybe try to flush through the cloud, get to the 200-day. So let's see how it goes on that one. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and show you what we were looking at here today. The big thing today is, we've been talking about Elliott Wave this week, right? Very, very important kind of evaluating your days. We were expecting some sort of pause day today, but interestingly enough, they took a lot of meat off the bone here today on the pre-market, right? So that was really an impulsive move down. And so today we saw a corrective wave, A, B, C up, right? And then it started to work its way back down again, right? So we got a nice push down here. We got about a 50% retrace. They pushed down again. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see more downside follow through in the after hours future session, but we'll see how that goes going into tomorrow. Again, there was about 500 million on the sell side on the MOC, so we'll see how that goes. But again, just all about to see how they handle it tonight, and what kind of price action we get tomorrow. A lot of inside days today, which is very, very interesting. Let's take a look at the Qs. So again, a lot of clues in the Qs, right? So we got a nice geometric breakdown here on the Nasdaq today, right? So it was basically a triangle move down. So we got that. We got some nice confirmation right here out of these levels, right? And then we started to push our way down pretty nicely as we got to the 15-hour below, a retrace here, and then it worked its way back down again, right? So same thing here. Let's take a look at the IWM. Again, the IWM was actually kind of had some relative strength today, right? So a little bit of a sideways head and shoulders right here into the close, but it really didn't get any momentum off of that, right? But it ended up staying up over its 15-hour high pretty decently after we talked about it around lunchtime. Again, the airlines were pretty decent today, and the cruise lines were pretty strong today, although the banks were not very strong today. So we had those kind of main sectors here that were weighing on it and kind of pushing it a little bit as well. Let's take a look at Apple and see how that behaved here today. So Apple tried to make a little rally at the open, but it struggled, right? We had this pre-market channel that we've been that we talked about in the group here this morning, right? That ended up basically holding as the high here today, and then then some crazy price action, right? And then we broke down of a triangle right here as well, right? So the top of it being the channel itself, and then this right here started to get some increasing volume, and then we got a nice push down, and then drifting down after hours on Apple. Let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla. Again, that had some decent down moves here today too. A lot of it came from the gap, but if you look at the daily chart right here, it's pretty nasty, right? So gap down, lost Friday's lows, lost that support level that we talked about yesterday, left an upper shadow, pushed down to the 50-day moving average, and now here we are back finally to the bump line, right? Not the macro trend line. We're at the bump line right here, which corresponds to the 50-day moving average. So if they want to buy this thing up, today's the day to do it. 110 million shares on Friday, and 109 million shares today. So I guess you could consider that a low volume pullback. Let's see if it holds this bump line and tries to work its way back up. It could squeeze up today. We saw some strength in some of the other electric vehicle names, but keep in mind that's fresh competition, right? If GM is buying Nikola, that could be some fresh competition for Tesla. So that's very, very interesting right there. A couple names that reported after hours right here. We got Work. So Work had a zero earnings, right? So it was actually a little bit better than expected. They haven't quite had their conference call yet, but it really dropped down pretty hard here after hours. Right now it's at 24, which puts it way below a lot of these levels. So we'll see if it gives a gap and go to the downside tomorrow. If it can close below, for instance, like this 22 level right here and start to work its way down. All right, so we got that going on. And also Lulu reported after hours, Lululemon. Again, it had an inside day today, and it is kind of just chopping around here after hours and see what kind of action it gives too. A couple other ones right there. So we got Vroom. Sorry. Give me one second right here. VRM. I believe VRM had some updated guidance on that one, so just something to kind of keep an eye on there, see if it gives any movement off of that one. BA again was a big one. We pointed that out in the public Twitter and in our group this morning too. Gave a nice move down this morning, gave a 382 retrace, another pullback off of that, and then it finally gave a nice flush off the 786 retrace off of the repeat basically of the same news and kind of drifted out. But keep an eye on the daily chart right here. It's starting to break down out of this triangle. So let's see if that actually happens here. I had some decent volume on this one today, so definitely keep an eye on Boeing going forward. And again, a lot of the names we had today were inside days, right? So again, AMD with an inside day, a lot of inside days across the board. So kind of keep an eye on these. AMD has definitely been on the bearish radar recently. It's got a huge open gap below. So if that one does break down, it could get pretty interesting. All right, guys. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll catch you guys on the free YouTube live stream tonight at 9:30 Eastern Time. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube to check that out and hit the notification button so you know when we go live, and follow us on Twitter. And look forward to seeing you guys then. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.